182 pounds, Class 4. Features Mike Aldrich, comes in with a record of 51-0, a senior from Parkway South. He's in the navy blue with red lettering on the side. He'll take on Trey Story. Comes in 51-3, a junior from Blue Springs South. Aldrich in on a shot. Cuts the corner. And there's a 2 to start off, so wasting no time is Aldrich here in this 182-pound Class 4 championship match. I'm Todd Schumacher giving you the play-by-play. Now, these two met up in the semifinals of the Hickman tournament, and Aldrich getting the best of Story by a score of 14-6. So now Aldrich go with an optional start here early on in the first period. Cuts him free. Aldrich was 5th at 160 last year. He beat Dustin Gray at the Thrasher tournament, who's headed to West Virginia. There's another 2 by Aldrich. And many thought it would be Dustin Gray and Aldrich in this final, but Dustin Gray tore his MCL and defaulted out of the bracket here at State, even though he had qualified. There's another cut by Aldrich. Aldrich getting some attention from not just Division II, but Division I schools. So still yet to decide on where he'll make his next stop in his wrestling career. Story, meanwhile, comes in and solid mark at 51-3 as a junior. Placed 3rd at the Greco-Roman State tournament back in May, held in Sedalia. So also wrestles the international style in the offseason. Aldrich, good hand fighting. He'll go from a tie-up into getting that angle, as we've seen 2 times here in this match. 4-2, Aldrich leading in the first period with 30 seconds left to go. Gets in on that leg. Stalling warning, and 2 points for Aldrich as Story got warned for stalling. That's what Aldrich will do. He'll crowd you, make it uncomfortable, and then get in on your leg. So optional start. No, he will cover Story. Story to his feet, trying to fight hands. Aldrich holding onto that right leg. They go out of bounds in a reset with 8 seconds left on the clock. And he'll do that. He has a pattern watching his earlier matches where he dances around, looks like he's going to go optional start and then covers the man. That's the end of the first with a 6-2 lead for Mike Aldrich of Parkway South. In the semifinals, Aldrich was a winner over Woods 6-3. Woods out of Jefferson City. That was Rashawn Woods, 6-3 decision. Shot in by Story. And not yet. Aldrich still fighting. Gets a whizzer in. And they're out of bounds. So a quality shot or opportunity there by Story. Meanwhile, Story beat Brendan McKenna of Lafayette 9-6 in his semifinal. Had an escape takedown combination at the buzzer. And holds on throughout, even though McKenna came fighting back. Aldrich in again. Sprawl after Story's shot. Story trying to cut the corner. Good hip placement and leverage by Aldrich. Four-point lead for Aldrich. He gets down on that single leg. Going to try to pull Story back in. There's a 2, indicated by our head official, Pete Mankiewicz. Stalling warning on Aldrich, saying that he was sitting on the hips. In Missouri, they're pretty quick on that, and if you're not working back and forth, they'll hit you with stalling. So in top position, you got to be working both sides. He cuts Story, makes it 8-3, 30 seconds left to go second period. As we said, these two met up at the Hickman tournament in the semifinals. Aldrich getting an 8-point win over Story. There's a snap down and spin behind by Aldrich. Goes out of bounds. Another takedown builds the lead to 10-3. Aldrich, good hand control. Driving Story flat. And that's the end of the second period. Choice goes to Story. He'll stay on bottom. Looks like we got some blood. And they'll attend to Aldrich. Aldrich will go optional start. Story is ready. Aldrich cuts him. Shot in on the right leg of Aldrich. Story trying to elevate it, but he falls to his hip. That gives Aldrich an opportunity to try to counter. And he gets in on the left leg of Story. Trying to cut the angle. And a stalemate with 1:33 left to go in the match and a 6-point lead for Aldrich.
Class 1 state champion at 182 pounds, class score 11-7. Will Tyndall from Father Golden Catholic.
Now Aldrich in deep on that left leg, and he gets another takedown with a minute left to go. Builds to an 8-point lead. Story to a sit out. Aldrich crowns him, now lets him up. Makes it 12-5, so very similar score that we're getting in, almost would be identical if Aldrich gets a takedown and then an escape by Story. That was the score, 14-6, when these two met up previously earlier in the season. And a stalling, a point awarded to Story, but Aldrich can afford that, as that's going to do it. And Story, a little extracurricular activities. Aldrich pretty much ignores it, and that will do it. So Mike Aldrich wins, stays undefeated with a record of 52-0. He is your champion at 182 pounds.